SKT will always have mid pressure and mid prio with that champion. Maybe if Lulu is open, Fabi can contest, but I don't think Lulu will be open. So I think Corki ban is necessary. I think we will see some prioritization on the jungle again. But if both Gragas and Lee Sin stay open, I think they're fine trading either side.
Yeah. Jin, I think we will see Nidalee ban too from SKT probably, because Gragas is banned. They probably just want to like force a ban with the Nidalee. Kalista being banned on blue side, I'm not sure if I like that.
I think it's gonna be either Corki, either Fiora. I don't think Fnatic is comfortable playing against Fiora either, and I don't think they're really that comfortable playing against.
I don't think they will ban Corki, but I think they should.
Okay, I like that statement. And the Kalista ban on blue side, Dexter, is actually something Fnatic did yesterday.
I don't like it. I think it's a very big mistake, especially when Jin is banned. Just take the Kalista, you know. Like
I think they just want to first pick either Lulu or Nidalee, but it's basically putting them also in a situation where they also might not get any first pick, and they're just gonna not get anything first pick. So
there's the Corki ban. Okay.
Oh, so Corki ban. Do you like that one, Crapo?
Yeah, I like this Corki ban.
Oh, that's good to hear.
And I think maybe the Lulu ban comes out here. Yep, that's the third ban. This forces SKT to ban the Lulu, because otherwise that would be the prime first pick. We could still
but what
see.
do you first pick now? That's the thing.
I mean, Lee Sin, you could make a case for first picking Lee Sin here.
Oh,
I wouldn't.
it's a hard case. It's a hard case.
Why is it a hard case?
I mean, it's not bad to first pick Lee Sin, but you just want to get something good, you know, like something that is like...
Lee Sin's not good?
I think you picked the Nautilus, yeah. That's what Fnatic would have done. They did it in the past games already.
Yeah.
But this just sets up the Fiora.
Yeah,
they are, I think SKT is already planning on it, you know, like they already see the Nautilus, they're like, okay, I think Fiora could be a very good possibility this game. They're obviously going to wait at least for one more rotation, but they already are pre-planning it. Get a strong foreman, get a good split pusher.
SKT Alistar here to take it away. Obviously, Clyde played some Braum, but not to the extent where he played Alistar. But they beat his Alistar last game, so maybe SKT doesn't really care anymore. Wants to hold the support counter pick for the 2v2 win in the matchup.
So if we get the Fiora versus Nautilus matchup, is TF like a priority? Because we have seen it through the whole tournament that people just, whenever there's a Fiora on the map, you just pair with the TF.
I mean, the priority is to snowball, I guess.
Same way when there's a Nautilus on the map. I mean, we haven't really seen it in the tournament, but it's very favored that you pick Lissandra too, and put Lissandra mid, have this double TP flank. It's really, really strong. I think that's kind of becoming meta in Europe to have these two champions together. So
SKT is just looking to build a strong core here with Elise and Poppy. That two champions that kind of deliver every game, and then they can just counter pick all the other lanes. So they're keeping support counter pick, they're keeping mid lane counter pick.
The Fiora dream is not alive anymore. No, so there's that.
Support Poppy maybe, but then that kind of died out real quickly.
Yeah, I had a rough experience trying to learn that champ.
What are the possibilities of a Quinn mid lane? What would need to happen for Fibin to run that again? We've already seen it.
You can't run it on blue side because the whole deal is just to have it as a counter pick ready, but blue side can't really afford to pick a Quinn, especially with the Nautilus being knocked in. So you have to pick something. I'm not sure if Azir is like the right answer, but...
I like Azir thematically because it guarantees you that you will have the early push and pressure early, because there's maybe Lulu can challenge Azir, and even then it kind of gets pushed in all the time.
Support and jungle, play it safe, get a strong support jungle duo, ranged with melee, and then just wait a bit. Don't show your hand yet. I think that's what Fnatic should do, and that's what they do.
I think it is what they're doing.
Yeah.
Well, they just did it.
SKT is right now gonna try and get the better support. I think they should go Braum Elise. It's a stronger duo roam matchup, and also the same thing, ranged with melee. It's the best combination you can get. So I think I will go for the Braum.
No, Bard.
About Ezreal? Yeah.
Yes.
Please don't prove me wrong.
No, I think we can expect the Braum. Although Wolf did have a fantastic performance on that Bard recently. So Braum has been locked in. But then what do Fnatic consider now? They have to reveal their solo lanes mid and AD carry rather. Dexter, what's up your priority list? I mean, Lucian?
Sure, you can try Lucian, but
try.
You can try, but I just feel right now with the way picks and bans, I mean, 3 AD carries are banned out. Ezreal is just a safe pick to just not get like caught out by the Nautilus. Just play it safe, play the same style, have like a strong front line with Braum and Poppy, make sure you can kite backwards and give Faker the counter pick.
Lucian Lissandra, Lucian LeBlanc almost has to come out.
Maybe the Kog'Maw again. They have the Thresh. SKT doesn't have that much hard engage anymore. They have Braum and Elise. They have Poppy. Yeah,
Poppy flash, Braum follow up.
Yeah, but it's not the same as
I think Kog'Maw Lissandra
before,
would be good
where
here.
they had the Gragas. Gragas is too much. It's most likely going to be the Lissandra double TP. it's just the general rule. It's good, always, never bad. So you can make up a lot, and it also fits on that aggressive style that you were mentioning earlier before. So I think maybe the Lucian fits more with that style too.
That's why I want to see Lucian. I just want to see winning lanes, go strong, go hard, because 2v2 Thresh Kog'Maw is a strong lane. But this will mainly mean that SKT is going to look for the lane swap again and just slow down the pace of the game. And then they've shown that in the mid game that they just seem to be slightly better than Fnatic.
But open lanes against double TP becomes very problematic at 20 minutes when home guard is enabled for everyone. So SKT doesn't. It's not so easy for SKT. They have to really take care of it.
What do you pick here?
What?
Vel'Koz, okay.
You picked the, there's actually one counter that we haven't really seen yet come out here, professional play against Lissandra, and it is actually developed.
Yeah.
That was
Makes sense.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Kill Febiven.
Huh?
It's now time for Faker to kill Febiven. Revenge himself.
Faker to kill Febiven with Vel'Koz. I sincerely hope D-Man knows the name of Vel'Koz's spells, because I sure as hell don't. I know the ultimate is Lifeform Disintegration Ray, but that's about as far as you're gonna go.
Unless he tabs out right now and reads them, because right now, as of this moment, he has no clue, because he's looking at his phone.
All right, gentlemen, I'm not gonna be able to get a full description. I'm just gonna get team names again. You all correctly predicted game one. Dexter, who will win? Which team?
SKT.
SKT with the Vel'Koz. Mithy.
Fnatic.
Fnatic because of the Vel'Koz. No. And Crepo?
SKT is going to win.
All right, so Mithy's the only believer. Guys, we do need to take a very quick break, and when we come back, it's Vel'Koz on Faker.
It's all on me, gonna own it. Running to the top now, I won't stop. Cause I'm the light in the darkness. I'm the bullet in the gun, that's me. My heart, it beats like a bass drum. Gonna let me get some. Never gonna back down. Never gonna break one bend. Now, tonight there's gonna be a showdown. Tonight there's gonna be war. This is what we came for.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2 here at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships in Katowice. It's Fnatic up against SK Telecom T1, and it is 1-0 in this best of 5 to SKT. And Vel'Koz has made an appearance on the Rift, but there's an interested owl.
Again, like in game 1.
You can spot when Kevin's in action. He's just like, don't pause it this time.
Oh, look at that weird thingy in the wall.
So, Faker, Vel'Koz, this is his first professional game ever played on Vel'Koz, which I'm actually surprised to say, because last year Sassen, a player on Spenu Sonic Boom, he's also played Vel'Koz this year, it has to be noted. And Faker actually lost a lane matchup playing as Azir into his Vel'Koz, died 3 times in lane. So he started practicing it a lot in solo queue, but he never actually played it in the professional scene.
And now the thing about a matchup like this, we don't see it very often, almost never see this matchup. Lissandra is not very strong against long-range champions. So like Azir used to be really good into her, but he's not really in the meta anymore. Not that Vel'Koz is, but for Faker, now it is. And it's one of these very long-range picks where you can really poke out the Lissandra, who has to get very close to the wave to hit the entire wave with her Q. It's easy for you then to always trade with her when she's trying to kill the minions. You can always hit her on the way. So I'm really looking forward to this matchup. Still, it is a risky pick when against Nautilus, Lee Sin who can kick you back. Lissandra can dive onto you. He has cleanse. But Faker has to be very careful in these fights.
Yeah, that's a tall order with the amount of single target CC that Fnatic is packing right now. Vel'Koz, just Doran's ring start, so nothing too terribly interesting so far.
No. Early on, Lissandra should be able to push it, also because Faker started Q, which obviously doesn't have the greatest wave clear. Stops on the first one. Fnatic in this game, in my opinion, really wanted to get standard lanes again. Nautilus gets that early push on Poppy. You have double range lane for Reckless and Clive, but it is a lane swap once more. And that kind of removes the value of having double range 2v2. Ezreal gets to farm up to his tier now, gets a fairly easy back. Get a call as well if he wants. And then you start scaling up, and you haven't really been put under pressure like we saw RNG get under pressure against Fnatic in the semi-final, in the standard lanes.
Yeah, no real pressure on the enemy jungler. Top laner right here, we actually are going to see a walk-in here from Lissandra as they do get pressure advantage. So just checking to see what the pathing is looking like from Blank and Duke up in that top side as the turrets start to go down.
And SKT started top side here with the jungle and top laner, and they actually did entire clear. We often only see you do 2 camps, and then you start rushing towards the bottom lane, because otherwise you join in too late. You can see how Duke is on his way to the bottom lane, but they are very far behind in this push here. Fnatic having the tower under 50% now, and Duke has not even joined down the bottom lane yet.
Spirit's lingering for a bit of a gank in the mid lane as well while this is all happening, because they see the pressure on the 2 lanes. Looking to see if he can make a play on Faker. Of course, Vel'Koz pretty slow early on. Going to try and catch him out. Does manage to get the stun down, but the kick lands, forces the flash from Faker. That's all they wanted.
Good early gank. And a new adaptation to this lane swap we see, where the jungler doesn't continue farming. He actually ganks mid early. Normally in lane swaps, you kind of neutralize the mid laners. They just play against each other unless a random support roam happens. Gets a flash, and also Fnatic will get this tower way in advance of SKT. SKT has to back away from this one. Like, they're messing up this lane swap completely from the early start with Duke and his jungler doing 3 camps and then slowly moving towards bottom side. Another wave has to now be reset, and you have to wait for tower to kill this entire wave, technically. So Reckless and Clive will return to lane, and Duke will get at maximum maybe 1 or 2 CS on his own, and then he has to just instantly back away. He's probably going to try and just push out the wave just to gain something, but he's going to be forced off this wave very early.
You can see Reckless is there already, as is Spirit, as is Clyde. Does get 1, but forced to back away. So starvation for Duke early on, but technically the same happened last time, although obviously different round about the houses. It was more a case of taking the dragon early and not actually collecting the wave correctly, and Reckless and Clyde already starting to zone Duke away from this one. He's going to have to back away. He has to respect and stick around the turret.
And just such a big difference now between the top laners. This is again why it's so important you take down this tower as fast as possible. 21 CS to 6, a level above now for Gamzu. Poppy has to basically farm his jungle. But now there's the support being annoying, and as long as Gamzu doesn't die here, he's been getting everything. He pushed out the lane. We might see a freeze coming in from Ezreal, something I have seen from the Korean teams before with the Blue Bill Ezreal. Problem is, when you play Ezreal in lane swap, you actually want to share the gold on tower with the top laner, because then you get enough gold to get a tier on your first back. If you don't share the gold on tower, you only go back with like 600 gold and you need 750 for tier. And then you go for Mana Crystal and Cull, and it really delays your scaling quite a bit. So not a big fan of the way SKT is playing this swap.
And they're not, in addition to what you're saying too, if we were going to see the freeze there from the Ezreal, we would have already seen Braum and at least recall and try and defend the tier 1 in the bottom side. So this is actually turning into a bit of a nightmare here in the lane swap for SK Telecom. They have to turn their attention onto this Rift Herald instead, just to try and get something out of this. They may want to play around this top side. They are going to give that buff over to Blank and maybe send him now into the lane to try and match, but he's going to recall instead. Goes back and going to pick up that Tracker's Knife and an Amp Tome, but this is...
What is SKT doing?
Yeah, this is
well, they've got
really
the coverage.
not good.
The bottom turret's going to go down. Reckless will take this down. You saw him pumping damage into the turret, and the top has been protected, and this is going to be a 2-for-1 advantage for Fnatic. So a very good start once again by them. this time gaining up much more than game one.
Yeah.
They're actually pinging on Dragon right now, and they're starting to collapse towards it. They fancy this.
The only play for SKT right there was saying, okay, fine, we lost the first push, our top lane is behind. Let's four-man the top tier 1 tower and just make sure we stay even in tower gold at least, and then bounce that wave for our Poppy so there's a chance for him to get back into this game. But they do Rift Herald and then recall.
Yeah, I don't get that. I can understand Wolf going back right there, but they had Poppy in the top side already. Could have easily grouped up, tried to use that Herald buff for the pressure. Instead, Duke is now 2 levels down on Gamsu.
Yeah, you can't really duel with him when he's like that. You can see 40 CS to 8 is massive gold differential right now, and it's going to become a problem for him now. But we saw Duke come back last time. Let's see what magic SKT
TPs.
have. The TP is coming in, and that is going to be Gamsu coming around the side. Forbidden comes in a little bit deeper around the side, but he can quickly close that gap, gets in, locks up Bang. He's absolutely the target, trying to predict it there, but First Blood will go across to Reckless. Wolf gets out. A lot invested in terms of some of the spells, but it does get them the kill, and more importantly, it can set them up for the Dragon if they want it.
Yeah, and could have gotten 2 there, but Cly missed his hook onto Wolf, who had already used the flash. Instead, though, Fnatic can make this play because they're pushing up that top lane all the way into tower. There's no way for Poppy to leave because she needs that farm, or she's basically out of the game. So you can make that TP play, use your TP mid laner as well, and just a great early play, a great lane swap from Fnatic, and SKT just looking completely lost now in the early game.
And they're pretty much out of it too. Again, they're just waiting to scale here. Can this blue Ezreal, this Vel'Koz do a lot of late game damage? Absolutely, and there's some damage coming in. The beam not enough to fry the Cly.
I believe it's the life form disintegration array, if you want to get technical on this one. It's been a while since it cast, but
So
I do remember that.
Since Thresh is not a life form, as Spirit gets caught out here at his own red buff.
Oh, and he's caught out. He's going down here. He manages to get himself a little life steal back, but it's not enough. The hook, though, lands on Blank. Hello, here comes Clive from the side. Maybe putting off a little bit more than he can chew here against Blank. Rector's going to get caught by the cocoon. He gets slammed against the wall. Duke fancies this one. Can he manage to get himself back in there? Faker not quite catching on them. And it is a 1-for-0, but risky stuff. SKT just going aggressive. It's like we've fallen behind. Sure, we've seen the Chinese play. We know it.
Fnatic as well, though. I mean, everything leading up to this point is really well played. You set up this play with double TP. Poppy cannot leave. And you just have your main target here being Bang, who has obviously no cleanse, and therefore Lissandra with level 6 can lock him down. Notice that after he had Cly, when he flashed in Wolf just dancing around and Cly missing almost a point-blank hook there, resulting in Wolf staying alive. And now Gamsu.
Flash forced. Okay, he can get slowed down. Does manage to get the knock up on Faker, but will back away. They don't really know if there's anything they can follow there. So SKT forcing themselves to try and make plays here, trying to catch Fnatic off guard.
And that's why Fnatic can't get sloppy. After they took Dragon, Cly started recalling in the river. Like, why? Just walk back, you know, a little bit further, at least into a bush so they have no vision of you. And then also right after, do your red buff when the SKT has just shown 3-4 members on the bottom side. Those are the kind of mistakes that will get SKT back in the game, and then suddenly this lane swap mistake didn't really mean a whole lot.
Like this, Bang going aggressive on Reckless, has got quite a heavy CS advantage. Of course, First Blood did go to Reckless though, so it's kind of balanced out, but an Ezreal up against the Cogmore that early on is only ever going to go one way. Faker gets himself the blue buff, and SKT, yeah, they're trying, they continue to try. Bang, everybody trying to just force something from Fnatic, force them to make these errors, and chances are they will come.
Well, in spite of the big CS differential that we see in between the top laners right now, that Frost Queen's claim, or what will be a Frost Queen's claim eventually, is actually giving a lot of gold over to Faker. So it's all about the scaling right now. Pick up the coal, pick up the tier, start to collect some more resources with that Spell Thief. And Duke is now getting back into this slowly. By the time Nautilus picks up that wave, still be about 20 CS up, but the gap is slowly closing.
And when you are ahead in the play in lane swaps, you actually don't want to fight. You do want to pick off a target, but you never want to take a long fight because you want to constantly just keep playing side lanes and play for minions and deny minions over and over. The problem is when you start taking these fights and getting caught out in your recalls, SKT gets more time to farm. That's why Ezreal got ahead in levels before, and also why Duke can get back into this game. He's just been sitting farming top lane.
Burst of combo damage there on Spirit. Faker just flexing a little bit of muscle. I do want to check out, actually, whether these 3 Moby boots that Fnatic have gone pretty early on here. How are they going to make use of them? Because no tier 2 boots bought out by SKT. There's a good hook coming out from Gamsu. He's even in level now. Here goes the ulti for Bivin just coming around the side. Gamsu desperately trying to bait this as long as possible. Now the question is, can he get anything out of it? No, he can't. Very well controlled fight from Fnatic.
Really good roam, and I like the entire setup here for Fnatic. They sent multiple members mid, pushed out the wave. Faker then went back to base to get some mana back, I believe, and then Febin starts roaming. Walks top, there's no tier 1 tower to defend against a Nautilus and Lissandra. The amount of CC gap closest you have, catches out Mr. Duke, and he goes down. So good little move from Fnatic.
Aggressive stuff from Faker, trying to catch Reckless out, but there's going to be the Rift Herald picked up for Fnatic. So they're going to be even in Rift Heralds now. Of course, that's going to keep Fnatic in the lead. Now, we saw in the semi-finals what they did with this Rift Herald. Stacked up together, made use of it, put the pressure on, and that was when they had that little early advantage. Now, can they try and do the same against SKT here? It went on to Reckless, so we'll keep track of him. At the moment, he's just going to clear out that wave in the bottom.
We are going to see them try, SK Telecom, try and push into the jungle. They get a couple wards down, but quickly cleared out. Bang now knows that he has to get back out of here, but he is going to try and push that into the next turret. It will be caught by Reckless. No real advantage coming through there. The SKT just unable to make any plays in the enemy jungle, but they go for one right there. Forces the flash from Cly.
Just keep seeing the plasma fission poke from Faker, constantly trying to catch somebody, slow them down. SKT grouping up, going for the 1-4 split push, try and get that farm back onto Duke, try and catch up. And he's done a very good job at catching him. You can see the massive differential that was there. It was 30 plus CS. But of course, that's going to get bounced into the turret for Bivin. Going to be able to clear out that wave in that mid lane. So SKT. Now, the ball is in their court. How are they going to react to this early advantage that Fnatic have garnered themselves? 20 seconds until the dragon spawns.
Well, for now, they're going to keep doing what they've been doing in the last few minutes. Just continue push out your waves and maximize farm on all 3 lanes, Faker, Bang, and Duke. Just a smart move before. Push in bot lane, move your Ezreal mid, force Reckless then to move in mid and defend as well, and then you just make sure Fnatic can't really be proactive because they always have to go and catch the waves. Spirit trying to be proactive will be spotted by Pink. We'll just clear it out, and therefore no gank will happen. And I want to see if Faker is actually going Leandris in this game. I've seen it quite a lot on Vel'Koz, and also with Iceborne Gauntlet Israel, because you have the slow for the extra damage of Leandris. It's actually super good combo.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about the synergy between those 2 items, or the Vel'Koz with the boost there from the Iceborne Gauntlet, because getting the poke in and then being able to easily land a lot of these Vel'Koz abilities, hit that knock-up, does make it quite good to play a Vel'Koz once you start sieging and once you start kiting in this game. Yeah,
kiting is definitely gonna be the key thing for SKT. When you have Bluebill Ezreal and a Vel'Koz, again, you keep kiting backwards in these fights. Even a Braum, you know, add him in there. Poppy is just going to be annoying in front line. If you can knock 1 or 2 members away with your ulti, then it's super easy for SKT to single out one target with the Braum passive and just destroy them. So I like the synergy in team fights from SKT, and I don't think Fnatic has used this early advantage they got, honestly, at all, because they started getting caught out, and outside the 1 kill Febin picked up top, they haven't really gained anything extra. And now a dragon for SKT, even though we're so early in the game.
That was very sloppy from Fnatic.
Again.
Spirit caught out there. The dragon picked up with ease. It respawned a long time ago. Gamsu going to try and land the hook onto Bang. There's no follow-on damage here. He's just going to try and solo him out here, and he may well just be able to do it. Bang gets away. Gamsu in trouble. He gets locked up himself. They do catch Duke out the side, but it's a 2-for-1 trade for SKT and the dragon. Fnatic just took the eye off the ball for a moment, and SKT completely capitalized on it.
Well, TP from Duke coming in the backline forced them to immediately turn around on that, or else the flank was going to come through and they were going to lose even more. Unfortunately, that did leave Gamsu a little bit high and dry there. Bang managed to sidestep the hook to start that fight. The exhaust went down, but they just didn't quite have enough damage to kill him. And you see the damage that starts to come out of Vel'Koz at this point in the game, because Spirit was basically just one shot right there by Faker.
I just want to see Fnatic kind of refocus now. Because this is another super sloppy play from Spirit. Dragon has just gone down. You have even the global timer and everything. And then he walks into the bush.
He knows they can see him too. His Raptor buff procced right
I'm
there.
like, why are you even there? So Fnatic instant kind of panic response saying, oh, let's take the fight, even though they know it's a 4v5. So winning this fight is almost impossible. And the TP from Duke obviously zoning away 3 members. Bang after flashing into the wall, stays alive, and then Gamsa goes down. And this all starts with just Spirit and the rest of his team really not paying attention.
Oh, no. Speak of the devil, he's at it again.
That was actually really close. One more stack from the Braum passive there from getting stunned and possibly dying again. So Spirit does get caught out, but no death this time. SK Telecom just regrouping in the mid lane, trying to catch this wave in the top side as Gamsu has led a massive amount of minions straight into the tier 2 turret.
But I think if we look at the two comps, late game, I think Fnatic still has a lot of ways to play the team fights
Sure.
and win the team fights. So it is dead even in gold right now. But you have Reckless scaling up. Gamsu is obviously going to be this big tank in the front line. And when you have this Lee Sin to kick out one of these squishies, you can really punish them hard. It's just Lissandra's value late game often becomes more of a zoning tool. Like try and E in and then ult yourself, yeah, because there's going to be QSSs and so on. And that becomes difficult then to take down his backline unless Spirit can make a big play.
But I like the adjustment from Fnatic. We said, well, if they don't get that early lead in the last game, then they're just going to slowly fall off. They definitely have a lot of late game options here. They have utility. Both these compositions should be exciting to watch in a 5v5 team fight. And Fnatic and SK Telecom have the same goals. It's all about the 5v5 this game. The split pushing will be very slow from either side. The poke is honestly not so great. Obviously a little bit better for SKT, but when you have this big Kog'Maw with a Ginsu's Rage Blade, that poke can hurt quite a bit as well.
And we're just going to see Febiven play side lane because he has teleport, so there's a little bit of a split push component, but it's not the way to win the game. It's not by having him like try and take an inhib in a split push. It's just pushing up a lane and then try and TP in for a flank. And preferably for Fnatic, before we start getting all these defensive items coming, where Febiven can still almost one-shot a squishy. Faker is going Morello. That's his first item, or second item, I guess. Trying to max out on some of the cooldown reduction. Didn't want to get cooldown reduction boots because he wants more power here. And the crowd is going nuts.
Well, it's the ping ward's going down. The question is, do they realize where the origin of that has come from? Crepo's on the desk. Crepo knows where that origin's come from. You were there as well, Monty.
I was there.
It was the 56-minute farming session that CLG and WE had way back in Season 2.
Don't you mean the 8-hour pause session? I don't remember the 56
I
minutes.
definitely remember the 8-hour
I
pause
remember
session.
the 8 hours of Silver Scrapes on a loop.
I had to do a lot more talking that week. It wasn't quite on a loop. But yeah, that was a long day. It was a long day. Thankfully, those days are behind us. It's all about the farming, boys. All right, okay. 30 seconds, Baron will spawn. 1 minute 30, Dragon will spawn. Faker continues to farm. And SKT, well, despite the early advantages Fnatic had, have got themselves right back into this game through mistakes, which we said would happen eventually. The question is, can they capitalize on it? Can they catch them out? This minute to go almost certainly is when the next team fight's going to happen.
Yeah, just some sloppy ones for Fnatic. That's where your in-game leader kind of gets everyone to refocus.
Do you really have an in-game leader in League? I mean, generally it tends to be
I
various members at various times of the game.
I mean, almost every team has like one guy.
Despite what they say.
I mean, they always have one guy kind of saying, guys, okay, hey, calm down, let's focus again and whatever. Like, basically a captain, I guess. It's Reckless for Fnatic right here. And as long as he's able to have that overview and control, he can get the rest of the players to follow.
Ooh, big hit on Spirit. 30 seconds to go back, get his hit points back and make himself relevant in this next fight. And you see why SKT are going to try and force the issue here. They're going to catch him. Oh, there we go. That interrupted the back. He was doing what he could to try and block it, but not quite enough. And that's going to cause a problem. Spirit forced to stop again. 15 seconds to Dragon. He's not going to get back in time. They're going to take the middle turret. The ward is the superhero, apparently. But it will be the middle turret going to SKT, and they are right back in control of this game.
And it's again one of the problems for Fnatic with this AD carry pick when they want to play side lanes with double teleport. Reckless is not really able to wave clear when you're already sieging on the tower. TP coming in though, we're gonna get a flank and an owl.
Well, you can see just around the side, Forbidden is just off the side on Lissandra. He's looking to try and make the play. He's drawing Blank away from the fight, but Kligen absolutely decimated. Blank will get taken down, or will he? He repels out and gets out alive. Spirit has to flash. Reckless in trouble. Duke catches on him, hammers him up in the air, and finishes him off. That's going to be another pickup for Bang, but Bivens going to get caught around the side. Gamsu will go down. This is going to be an ace, ladies and gentlemen, for SK Telecom T1.
And they caught them. They couldn't collapse fast enough. Fnatic right there. And I was about to mention this, but one of the most devastating things about this Braum-Vel'Koz combo is the Glacial Fissure into all of the line skill shots that Faker has. You get on that ramp right there, and he can just do so much damage to your entire team.
Someone give Blank a cookie as well, because that pincer move from Fnatic had Lissandra coming from the right side. Blank actually landed Cocoon onto Febiven and stopped him from getting into the back line. Let's just say they're cheering for Baron, but we know they're not.
No, it's sadly not the cheer for Baron, but the crowd are keeping themselves entertained here. And Poland, oh no, Blank went down to the Baron.
Oh, they can't do it anymore.
Can they do this?
There. No, they have to get out.
Caught on Duke there. Wolf gets hooked in. He's going to get taken down. And now Fnatic, it didn't regen enough health. I can't
Faker's ulti though.
He's going down. Oh, Faker's ulti will be enough to bang her back there. Bang catches a shot, but oh, the hook flashed away from, and nobody will be picking Baron up today. Yet,
but everyone will die around the Baron.
Wow, Blank actually died to the Baron right there. Pretty big misplay on something, an objective that they had honestly almost secured. The Fnatic comes roaring back, gets the TP in from Febiven. Let's take a look at this replay.
Like, this is so key that Blank actually finds Febiven and then keeps him in check, because it also sets up this massive laser from Faker, and no one is touching the backline of SKT at this point, so both Bang and Faker are super safe. And what ends up happening, massive ulti from Vel'Koz leads into everyone being low, and you can just chase and chase and chase. And Febiven could probably have flashed in.
He definitely could have flashed in over that wall after he had seen Blank and actually got right into the mix, ulted himself or another target depending.
Fnatic cannot fail that engage when you have Nautilus and Lissandra to take down this Vel'Koz, because there is cleanse for Faker. So Febiven on his own wouldn't be enough. You need that Nautilus in there as well.
that tells me that immediately there was a call of, no, disengage, disengage. It's clearly there was something that went wrong, the call to just disengage, because surely he would have just flashed in.
Well, SK Telecom did make the right call, though. This is the coordination coming right out of that fight. As soon as they see the TP coming in, they know the flank is there. So just sticking together, and they just collapse faster on one side, the side that where the Lissandra happened to be, and everyone else was obligated more or less to follow through at the choke point.
But this is also what sometimes happens when you play against these newer picks. Like, you don't practice against the Vel'Koz very often.
No.
And then you kind of think to yourself, oh, we can like flank them here, jump in towards this blue buff, and then suddenly you're caught in a small choke point, and then Vel'Koz ulti together with Braum will just absolutely destroy you, and you kind of underestimate the damage sometimes. And if you don't get that perfect engage, you're gonna die.
Pause for dramatic.
Well, I was about to say something else, but
the drama was good. But Faker's now caught out. Can they get him out? Yes, they can.
That's what we want to see.
Gamsu gets one down. Now can they finish it off? Bang, just sitting around the pit there, doing work. But it's going to be a tower for Fnatic. That's going to catch out. They will tank down the damage. And that was just the pick they needed. But they need to do it over and over, because SK Telecom, even though they got picked off there, still managed to put a fair bit of damage back on Fnatic.
Gamsu has to be the guy taking out Faker or locking him down and then making sure he can't just ulti across 4 or 5 members every single time. SKT though still hitting gold, and might have a second attempt on this Baron. Revenge.
And Bang changing up the build this game, going for the QSS third instead, and we discussed that change coming through. We're going to take a look at this replay again. Faker caught out right here and just gets knocked up repeatedly. Easy, easy pick there for Fnatic. No way to cleanse out of that one.
Well, at the moment, it's very much Fnatic that are trying to put the pressure on, but you can tell by the gold, SKT still in the lead, by the kills, still in the lead, but not by the towers just yet. I'd love to have a ward counter one of these days in this game. It's something we asked for many moons ago, especially for these little...
It's tough now with all the blue wards, though.
Well, that's it, yeah. I mean, it's kind of misleading. Okay, well, this is a top tower that SK Telecom should have taken down around about minute 4 in the game. They've finally returned, boys. We're back. And this time, they will pick it up. Spirit looking to try and make that play. Looking to try and catch
TP
something
again.
around the side. The TP around the side. This is risky stuff here. The flanking maneuver for Bivin going all the way around. Duke's going to be the man they catch on towards, but they can't really find on. Bivin goes in, but he gets slammed instantly by Duke. And Faker just doing the damage at the back, untouched. Finally, Gamtu gets on him. Reckless is just being kited. Bang is dealing damage on them, and nobody can get near them. Spirit finally lands the kick, but they are just winning out this fight with ease. Reckless and Clive were literally kept out that fight by Bang.
Well, really the play was made there by Duke, who followed the Lissandra Claw in, and Bang able just to zone them out as we see Reckless will fall. Duke not going to go down to the Acathian surprise, but they read that Lissandra flank like a book. They saw the E come in. Duke was there just spamming his E, waiting for it to come over the wall. Now they're going to try this Baron again.
Well, Spirit is the only man alive. Clyde just spawned, but a bit of a suicidal moment possibly here.
Duke is very low.
Make him the champion. Spirit, though, always caught out. Bang's just going to deal with him. Will just, sniped out by Bang.
Bang is so good. I mean, that last fight, as you said, D-Man, it was just Bang standing there 1v2, keeping Reckless and Clive away. So look here, very crazy call almost from Fnatic. They're actually not in a position to fight
right now, though,
as a team. So notice Bang here on your left, and then notice how Duke is just slamming Favorite into the wall, delaying his own ulti, and 2 members from Fnatic are just dealing with 180 carry from SKT. You can't really leave Reckless alone. When you do want to engage as Fnatic, you have to make sure the entire team is actually in a position to deal damage, not randomly TP.
Well, what enabled Faker to get on his ult off there as we watch the rest of this chase down? And Duke coming from around the side.
More of a beat down than a chase down.
Yeah, it was a beat down. But also, the W from Poppy prevented Spirit from engaging. And once Lissandra was locked into the wall, Faker was safe to actually channel his ult. We're going to see another fight.
Well, they're going to try and go in. The turret's going to drop. Gamsu's going to fall. Blank caught out. Will just be able to repel away from the damage. And, well, Fnatic are really being roasted here. Faker continuing to get that disintegration array, burning them on the backside, forcing them out of the fight. And of course, don't forget they have that Baron buff. Here come the minion wave, and they can just keep on sieging. Bivin has to dash away there. And this is going to be the first inhib of the game. 29 minutes gone. Fnatic, they had that moment, they had that advantage, but they just couldn't press it. And SK Telecom absolutely capitalizing on the mistake.
Ouch.
It will just be a simple kill. The jungler Blank going down, but I don't think SKT will be too worried about that. The damage has already been done.
Now that we've seen 2 games, or well, still part of game 2, where we've seen a lot of team fights, I don't think this is the correct AD carry pick for Reckless in these compositions that Fnatic are trying to run, because you see how a blue build Ezreal is able to just zone you completely out of the fight, and you only really do well if you can stand still and deal damage, but you're against a poke kite composition. They're never gonna let you just stand still and hit them. So the pick really doesn't make a whole lot of sense for how Fnatic wants to play, like dive into the back line. What is Reckless going to do? He's just kind of standing there.
Not to mention, in any kind of team fights, you want to stand still, and if you stand still, this Vel'Koz will melt you from an extremely long range.
And then the Braum pick we've seen twice now from SKT. In case you ever get in a position to deal damage, it's going to be right in your face. But I think Fnatic is just saying, like, this pick has been so strong for us when we played it before. We trust in Reckless. I don't think you got to pick more for the composition, and you ignore what is something you consider a complete S-tier AD carry.
Well, they've not got Jhin to fall back onto either.
Play Lucian then.
Savior. Yeah, Lucian's a possibility, but that didn't go well for Fnatic in game 2 against RNG, so maybe that's playing in the back of their minds. They're going to try and track down Duke here. Problem is, they might well lose their base while this all happens, because SKT like, fine, you can have Duke. We will take your towers. Fnatic are going to try and back away from this one, but they will lose the tier 2 turret. The question is, will they lose more?
Fnatic is double TP now. If they can set up a TP play
They have no wards.
and get a 4v5.
They have no wards.
Oh, I have no wards.
Literally zero.
Well, I mean, that's the plan for Fnatic is invest fully into a kill and then hope SKT pushes further because you know you're losing one tower. You're hoping SKT will then overstay their welcome and then suddenly you TP in and you get a 5v4. And that's the only reason you go for that desperation kill really at this point.
Yeah, but it has to be set up. If you look at the SK Telecom wards littering the bottom side of the map, they've only started to get them in now. So the flank wasn't really in the cards there for Fnatic.
That's the plan, just couldn't really execute it in the current situation.
Oh, what will Fnatic do? They need a mistake here from SKT. Look at Bang, look at that. Big, juicy, holy cow. Clyde just getting absolutely slaughtered there. Does manage to dodge out on the ulti, but Duke goes diving in, collects himself that bounty, and then the Spirit will be next. He just gets knocked up in the air. Bang gonna pursue this one. Blank will chase him down while the rest of the team just continue to pound on into the base. Fnatic, 2 men down. They can't defend this.
Nope.
Nope. Nope, they can't.
Good call.
Yeah. Deep, deep knowledge coming out. It's a fountain right here, ladies and gentlemen. But it's going to be the Nexus turrets that are going to get challenged out here. Forbidden's got one last roll of the dice. He's got to hope that he can catch some in the perfect position. But as you can see, they're dodging, dancing, juking. Bang caught out quickly. Arcane shifts already coming through. So Gamsu unable to follow that through. And SKT, 1 damage done. Hit and run.
So they do defend it.
Bad call, D-Man.
Yeah.
This is why you're not in the analyst desk.
This is why I'm not an analyst. I mean, my knowledge is not as deep as Monty. Reddit have pointed that out quite a few times. It's something I wasn't aware of, but thank you for making it clear to me.
Coming into this, I mean, Spirit now reviving. We've got about 1:45 left on Baron, but SK Telecom going to be in a very good position to bait that again. We can see the damage that is coming through from this blue build Ezreal right now. And we should talk about the Vel'Koz itemization a little bit, because
the slow-mo. Go, Duke, go. Click that call. I think it's safe to say the observers are a little bored right now.
Leandra's Torment, just an item we almost never see in the current meta. But when you combine the burn with the stacks and true damage from Vel'Koz's passive, you can really do an insane amount of damage over time. And you have so many ways to proc it from long range, just continuously poking. Void Staff as well, so just maximizing that magic penetration.
And then just extra damage against the slow targets. When you have Braum, Ezreal with Iceborne Gauntlet, you're basically guaranteed getting extra damage coming in. Fnatic is trying to set up a Fnatic.
It's the Fnatic of old.
Trap.
Can we find a gank? Can we get anything from this? Oh, Reckless, the front line. He's going to go onto
you
Blank
don't want
here.
Blank,
That's a little risky. He's got nowhere to repel. That's the good side. So they could catch onto Blank, but it's not the ideal of target. Now the rest of SKT will arrive. Duke separated from the pack. Can he do the damage around the side? Gamsu's trying to get amongst it. Reckless at the moment is buying himself some free time. He gets a couple of free shots onto Wolf, but Duke's back in again, and he's slamming down onto Clyde. Now they can turn it back around, though. It's a 4-on-2. Can't catch them onto it. Faker at the back. Look how low Fnatic have managed to get them, but they just can't finish the job. That's like a little slap in the face there, backhanded, but unfortunately, SKT just know how to juggle the aggro.
And it's easier for Duke to kill all the Fnatic members than killing that pink ward before. It took him such a long time. He's just so fed on this puppy 2 games in a row now, and there's so little Fnatic can really do against him. He didn't even die in that last fight. He was taking like 3 members.
Taking 3 members in what was effectively a 5v4, because they did lose Blank very early there. That was the target for the Lissandra ultimate, and the war of wards continues outside of the red buff in Fnatic's side of the map.
I think the crowd knows exactly which way this is going by now. Well, you can see them just off the side here. Fnatic.
They're trying again, though. They just want to fight.
Well, I mean, Bang is not with them at the moment. He's off getting the red buff, so they've got themselves a little moment of opportunity. They will take this dragon down very fast, and they're actually going to get it. So, well done, Fnatic, for just creeping in, getting an objective.
Still 10k gold down. Bang has been fantastic. Duke has been fantastic in
It's
this
a
game.
small matter of mathematics.
It's just
Don't worry
10k gold.
about
I mean, doesn't matter. Items is not really important in League of Legends anyway.
that. No, not at all.
It's all about friendship.
That's what I
Fnatic
hear a
have got
lot
it
of
in
the time.
spades. We saw it with the little wink that Reckless gave Clyde early on. But for Biven, he wants to make a play here, and he's going to have to make a play. Spirit, we talked about how he could try and pick out the AD carry, but the problem is they're just such a hellish team right now to try and get in amongst. Gamsu's tried it a couple of times, Spirit's tried it a couple of times, but every time they go in, get beaten back.
You have to one-shot Faker on the engage, more or less. Like, he has no defensive items, he just has the cleanse. If you can't get to him and kill him, he has no flash either in this fight, then there's no way back for Fnatic. But if they can maybe one-shot him, and Reckless can stand there dealing with Duke, not that it's been working so far.
They have no wards to TP to again. They've got absolutely nothing unless they want to go all the way back to the river in order to make a play. And Faker will be able to kite them directly from the front now that he has the Rylai's in addition to all of the other displacement that his team has. SKT meanders back into the river, takes the Scuttle Crab, and they're going to be able to start this Baron. Or bait it, or recall.
Well, I mean, that's three options.
I like the predictions there.
Oh, they got Blank out.
Blanky.
Okay, this is risky. So Blank's got nowhere to go now. They could actually take him down, and that would give a real opportunity for Baron, for Fnatic, with the jungler down.
And Bang is really far away from this still.
Well, he's going to be able to get close enough. They have to peel just right in this fight. We've got to be looking at Forbidden. He's got to make the right play. Now, the damage doesn't come out from Bang
so
there. Oh, but
huge.
Spirit's getting caught out. The plasma catching from...
Oh, Fnatic's all in on Baron now. They're stuck in the pit. Claw used by Febiven. Remember, Faker has no flash.
3k on Baron. They try to peel. You can see Wolf manages to put the ulti down. There's Duke. Goes in on the back line. Forbiven's in trouble. He's not going to be able to get away. He tries to regen as much health as he can. Baron regenerating around the side there, but it is now SK Telecom turning his fight back around. Fnatic, little last-ditch effort catching out Blank. It's unfortunately not going to pay off. And SK Telecom, you can't discount their team fighting, even in a 4v5.
Yeah, they're going to get the ace and just TP right back into the Nexus.
Well, Duke, he has been one of the MVPs for SKT for me in this final so far, definitely in the first game. And maybe they need to start considering banning out Poppy as the crowd start chanting TSM. I heard a Virtus Pro chant as well a moment ago, but SK Telecom, they're going to take game 2 here against Fnatic. Will it be a 3-0? Blank, get that water down your son, you can do it. Go straight back in for it. But well, how are they going to turn this one around? Who knows? You guys can check out that crazy Baron fight on plays.tv, apparently, Monty.
Nailed it.
This is what I've heard. Replay it and find out exactly how SKT took them down in that 4v5. Blank, of course, well, he was caught out for a brief moment, a brief little...
He got caught out a couple times.
A glimmer,
Last two fights.
A glimmer
was-
for Fnatic there, but unfortunately, 0-6-7 for Spirit, and he's been probably one of the players to watch for Fnatic. But this time around, it just wasn't to be. They were expecting him every time.
It also really just goes back to that early game, winning the lane swap and then Fnatic getting caught out multiple times. Really not what we have seen from Fnatic so far in this tournament. Definitely lost some focus.
Well, 2-0.